Russian premier has outlined the stark choice ahead on European defense. Either Moscow becomes an equal partner or it will be forced to put more missiles on Russia's borders. Vladimir Putin told America's primetime TV audience that shoring up weapons is not what Russia wants. RT's Gane Chichikan has more on the interview with veteran talk show host Larry King.
Larry King started off with a question that is a big enigma not only in the West but also in Russia. Will Vladimir Putin run for office in 2012? Putin basically said they'll figure something out with President Medvedev, sort of indicating that they are first of all partners with the current president and don't see each other as rivals. To that, Larry King brought up the comical comparison with Batman and Robin, a comparison that a U.S. diplomat gave to the Russian leadership in a classified cable posted by WikiLeaks. Here's what Prime Minister Putin said to that.
You know that Mr. Medvedev and I were tackling the issue of future cooperation, which has actually come, on how we were going to build up our relations when deciding on how to design the election campaign, the presidential election in 2008. We fully realized that many would try to sow discord within our common approaches, building the state of Russia and economic development. It's because our cooperation is a significant factor in the country's internal policy. But frankly speaking, we could not imagine that it was going to be done in such a bold, pushy and impudent way. So such a claim is of course aimed at insulting us, hurting our pride and provoking steps which would destroy the beneficial cooperation in managing the country. I must say that we've got used to it already, and I ask those who make such attempts to calm down.
Prime Minister Putin and Larry King certainly did touch upon some major international headlines. For example, Larry asked about President Medvedev's recent statement that if Russia and NATO don't figure out a joint sort of even approach to the planned missile defense shield in Europe, it could trigger an arms race. And Putin made it very clear that it is the last thing Russia would want. Russia's actions will only be in reaction, he said, and Russia will never be the one to provoke an arms race.
But if we receive only negative answers to our suggestions, and moreover, if there's an additional threat in the form of a new missile shield near our borders, Russia will have to maintain its security by taking certain measures, launch new missile strike systems against the new threats near our borders, and create new missiles. It's not our choice, we do not want it, and it's not a threat in any way. We're just talking about what is waiting for us in case we can't reach an agreement on collaboration. That's it. I repeat, we do not want this at all.
Regarding what was leaked by the whistleblowing website WikiLeaks, Prime Minister Putin said he doesn't see a catastrophe in what happened. He sort of suggested U.S. diplomats be more cautious with their internal correspondence, but he also said there is a number of experts who believe the hype around WikiLeaks was created on purpose to be able to later maybe use it as an instrument for reaching political goals. Nothing is known for sure, but experts are looking into that as well. Prime Minister Putin also was asked to comment on another leaked cable with the U.S. Secretary of Defense saying democracy in Russia has disappeared and the country is ruled by security services. Putin said Robert Gates is deeply misled here. He said Russians rule through people they elect into office, but he also had something to say about the democracy in the U.S. Take a listen.
I would like to remind you that twice in U.S. history, there were cases that presidential candidates who later won the election were supported by a big number of electors who were chosen by the least number of voters. Where's the democracy there? So when we say to our American colleagues that there are issues with its system, we hear, stay away from us, that's our tradition, and that's how it's going to be. And we stay away. But I would like to advise our colleagues to stay away from the way we live too.
A little bit off the topic here, but also regarding WikiLeaks, a new portion of classified cables was released, also Russia-related. The U.S. ambassador in Russia is writing about the former Moscow mayor Yuri Lushkov. He writes how corrupt he was and so on and so forth, how he bribed the Kremlin. Well, Lushkov was fired by the Kremlin in September, as we remember, because the president didn't trust him anymore. It's kind of the point about to the point about how much of the stuff released by WikiLeaks is actually news or secret. Many of those cables are speculating on rumors, sort of hearsay.